Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Global Scope News. This is Mohsen Ali and today we are going to discuss one of the most significant topics in today's world, globalization. So, as the world is getting more connected through technology, trade, and travel, globalization plays a huge role in shaping our economies, culture, and daily lives. So, before we begin, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell icon to stay updated with more content like this. Now, let's dive into let's dive into the topic. Globalization is the process by which countries, businesses, and people from different parts from all around the world become more connected and interdependent. This is mainly driven by the growth of international trade, advances in technology, and improvements in transportation and communication. As a result, goods, services, information, and even culture move across borders more freely and more quickly than ever before. Become the world has become a global village where what happens in one part of the world can affect more in distant places. Globalization has made things like international trade and culture exchange easier, but it has also created new challenges and inequalities. It has both its advantages and disadvantages, and it's essential to understand both sides of the story. One of the most significant advantages of globalization is its role in economic growth. By opening up markets and allowing for the free movements of goods and services, globalization has helped many countries to grow their economies. Countries with natural resources or specialized industries can now sell their goods to a global market, which leads to higher profits, more jobs, and better economic conditions overall. For example, many developing countries have seen their economies improve because they can export product to richer countries. Countries like China and India have benefited from globalization by selling cheap goods like electronics, clothing, and other manufactured products worldwide. This has this has helped lift millions of people out of poverty and has boosted the overall wealth of these nations. Globalization has made it easier for people around the world to access a wide range of products and services that they would not have had access before. For instance, consumers in the United States can buy fresh fruits from Africa, electronics from Asia, and clothing from Europe, all because of the interconnected global market. Businesses benefit from this too, as they can source materials and product from countries where they are made more cheaply. This leads to cost saving, which are often passed on to consumers in the form of lower prices. As a result, As a result, globalization not only gives consumers more choices but also makes a product more affordable. Globalization has accelerated technology's progress by encouraging countries to share ideas and collaborate on research and development. When companies and researchers work together across borders, they can they can combine their knowledge and expertise to create better product and technologies. For example, the technology we use today, like a smartphone, computers, and the internet, has been made possible because of global collaboration. Companies from different countries share ideas, resources, and innovations, which leads to faster improvements in technology. As a result, people everywhere can benefit from new inventions and advancements that make life easier, and more connected. Cultural exchange is another benefit of globalization. As people from different parts of the world interact more, they get the opportunity to learn about each other's cultures, traditions, and lifestyles. This helps to promote understanding, respect, and tolerance among different groups. For example, people in the West may get to know about the art, food, and traditions of Asia or Africa through movies, music, and travel. Similarly, people in countries like India or Japan can experience Western culture through the internet and international media. This exchange helps break down stereotypes and fosters a greater appreciation for diversity. Globalization has created millions of jobs, particularly in developing countries. Many companies set up factories in countries with lower labor costs, which creates job opportunities for local people. This helps reduce unemployment and provides a steady income for workers who might otherwise struggles to find employment. For example, in countries like Vietnam, Bangladesh, and Mexico, many people have found work in industries like garments, manufacturing, electronics, and agriculture because global companies have opened factories there. These jobs can help people improve their standard of living and contribute to the country's overall economic development. Now, now it's important to talk about disadvantages. Disadvantages of globalization divides. While globalization has led to economic growth, it has also created a widening gap between the rich and the poor. The benefit of globalization are not equal disrupted. In some countries, rich individuals and large corporations have gained the most, where the poor have seen little to no improvement in their lives. In wealthier countries, globalization has led to higher profits of large multinational companies, But many low income workers have not benefited from these changes. In poorer countries, while some people have found jobs, many still live in poverty because the wages are very low. This has led to growing income inequality both within and between countries. Globalization can sometimes involve local culture and traditions. As global brands and products spread, local customs and practices may be overshadowed. For instance, fast food chains like McDonald's and Starbucks can be found in nearly every country, which may push out local businesses and food traditions. This can lead to a loss of identity and cultural diversity. In some countries, globalization has caused younger generations to adopt more westernized lifestyle, which sometimes results in the loss of their traditional values, languages, and practices. While globalization can bring cultural exchange, it can also lead to a global homogeneity, where unique cultural identities fade away. Another major drawback of globalization is the exploitation of workers, particularly in developing countries. Many multinational companies set up factories in poorer nations where labor is cheap and regulations are very weak. While this may help create jobs, it often leads to poor working conditions, low wages, and long hours. For example, in the garments industry, workers in the countries like Bangladesh or Cambodia may work 12 hours shifts from for very little pay, minimum pay. Many of these workers are exposed to unsafe conditions and they often lack the rights and protections that workers in wealthier countries enjoy. This exploitation is one of the darkest sides of globalization. So, globalization has contributed to significant environmental problems as companies produce more goods to meet global demand. More resources are used and more waste is generated. This leads to pollution, deforestation, and climate change. The transportation of goods around the world, whether by sea, air, or land, also contributes to carbon emissions, which are harmful to the environment. The more goods are shipped globally, the more damage is done to the planet. Additionally, some companies move their factories to countries with weaker environmental regulations, which leads to even more environmental damage. Globalization makes countries highly dependent on each other. If one part of the global supply chain is disturbed, whether due to natural disasters, political instability, or economic crisis, it can have a ripple effect on other countries. For example, during the COVID 19 pandemic, many countries faced a shortage of essential goods because global trade was severely impacted. Countries that depend heavily on imports for foods, medicines, or technology can find themselves vulnerable if there is a disruptions in the global supply chain. So, in conclusion, globalization is a complex and multifaceted process that brings both advantages and disadvantages. One, on the other hand, it helps create economic growth, access to a wider range of products, technologies advancements, and cultural exchange. On the other hand, it contributes to income inequality, exploitations of workers, environmental harm, and the loss of local culture. As we continue to navigate the world of globalization, it's important, it's very important to manage its impacts carefully to ensure that its benefits are shared by all and its harm are minimized. Thanks for watching. This is Mohsen Ali from Global Scope News. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon for more updates on global news and analysis. Stay informed, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.